Once again, Labour and community-based organisations under the banner People Against Budget Cuts are currently holding a media briefing at the St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town. In fact, that briefing has started. Let's continue listening in.
And which is at the core or is in the DNA of our crisis that we are currently undergoing is the new liberal austerity policy that is pursued in this country. And there are three pillars of this austerity that ultimately decimate and the attack on the working class as espoused in the way that Comrade Vawe has presented it. It is fiscal austerity, it is monetary austerity, and it is industrial austerity. These three interrelated policy instruments used by the state is ultimately tools to attack the working class. Since the 90s, as again indicated by Comrade Vawe, that the taxation on the corporate sector in this country was 50% in 1990. It stands now at 27%. The economy during this period also expanded. The unemployment and the ability to create jobs has not come as a consequence of that. Instead, the government introduced in 1996 a government policy called GEAR, and that is ultimately the instrument that is currently holding back the ability of the economy to break out of the shackles of the apartheid and colonial economic infrastructure that we are currently still seeing the reproduction of those kind of economic development that is happening within our country as a consequence of that. Now, these three components, and Comrade Busak, with capitalism calling this as the Holy Grail, the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is the ultimate Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit moment within capitalism as we are experiencing it today. These three components of the policy that is ultimately impacting on the ability of the economy to rise and to breathe has to be not reformed, but we have to get rid of these policies. And at the center of the struggle of the working class and at the center of the direction of the party's position in respect to undoing these policies is to say that we will not be able to dismantle this policy by entering into a reformist approach to this. We have to eradicate those policies. We have to return to what we ultimately, during the struggles that we have waged and brought...
All right, you're watching live visuals there from the I beg your pardon, it's a cathedral in St. George's Cathedral, there you go, in Cape Town, where a number of organizations are pushing back against any possible budget cuts as we count down to Budget 3.0, as it's now been dubbed. Understandably, there's great apprehension about where the finance minister will essentially find the money to plug that 70 billion rand revenue shortfall as a result of the scrapping of value-added tax. But as always, the SABC News Channel is watching the bill.
With a government pursuing economic policies that respond to what the rich and the powerful want, but do not seem to be able to understand what it is that is for the common good, that serves the common needs of our people. It's a policy, as you have heard this morning, that has smashed to pieces the hopes that we once had at the beginning of the dawn of what we call our democracy and have not been fulfilled, not because we could not, but because there was a decision not to. that made us the most unequal society in the world today, even as we speak. And we know that socio-economic inequalities have consequences that we can see and even consequences that we cannot yet see. I mean, it is Oxfam, that has produced a report already in 2023 about the consequences of socio-economic inequalities. And it means, they say, that globally, socio-economic inequalities all by themselves, we're not talking about disasters like famine or floods or something like that, or pandemics like COVID, just socio-economic inequalities all by themselves are taking the lives of 22,000 people per day, globally speaking. That's 4 people who die, 1 person who die every 4 seconds, every 4 seconds. So if you count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, some mother dies. 1, 2, 3, 4, some father dies. 1, 2, 3, 4, some young person or some baby dies. That is the direct consequence of socio-economic inequalities. And if we are the most unequal society in the world today, what does that mean for South Africa? So I'm afraid that that is now increasingly reflected in the way in which the budget of this country is being organized. And so I am very happy to associate myself with the call for fundamental change, but not just in economic quality. When I listen to my comrades here, it's clear to me that we have this budget because we have this government. We have this economic policy because we have this government. And if it was clear to us 30 and 50 years ago that apartheid could not be reformed as they tried, but it had to be completely and irrevocably eradicated, then it is clear to us today that in this pro-apartheid, new apartheid, so-called post-1994 situation, and I keep on reminding myself what Konrad Koch has said, that for white people and privileged people, post-1994 is not a problem. It is apartheid, but without the guilt. For our people, it is still apartheid, but with even more burdens, heavier burdens to carry than we have before. And so it's not just about the budget. For me, it is about our people rising. It is about our people stop complaining, say, oh, there's yet another budget coming. There will always be the budget as long as you have this government. It's about the government. They have to go. That's what we should set our sights on from now on. And that is why we are going around the country talking to our people, of bringing together a progressive people's assembly so that the things that we are talking about here can be discussed by our people, as so that an alternative can be produced, so that a new vision can be articulated for our country. The people in charge cannot give you a new vision. This thing that they are talking about, a national dialogue where they will bring us a new vision, how can the very same people who caused the crisis of the last 30 years pretend to be those to come with a solution to the crisis they have created? The very same people. And so we are saying no to that. It is not just about a budget, it's about a new government, and that is what we should set our sights upon. And so, in a sense, this is fair warning to the government of national unity. We're not coming for the budget, we're coming for you. And that's the message that we are sending out to our people. And we are saying it here so that they know. We're not hiding behind anything. We're not making plans behind closed doors. We are telling you it's our country. It's our people who are suffering. It's our children who think they have no future. It's our children who are dying. It's our children who are killed every single day, whether it's on the Cape Flats or whether it's somewhere else, by hunger and by bullets and by guns. It's our people who cannot take this burden any longer. And it's our people who are saying to this government, you do not represent us. You do not have an alternative for what you yourself have created. You do not have a vision for the future of our people. You have got to go. And that's what we are working towards. That's all I think I need to say today.